Hey there guys, this is a review on the Belkin Cinema Folio case for the third generation iPad. It does have the auto wake magnet, so that symbol right there says that it's good to go for the iPad 3. Overall, this is a really great case. I tried on a couple of them and landed on this one, and I'll explain why, but I highly recommend this case. So let's go ahead and look at it. Pull it out. At first glance, you'll notice that it's a pleather type texture with a more smooth satin stripe here. Belkin does make another one that's called the Cinema that just has the color strip on the side here. I like this just because it seems more professional looking, especially if you're in the business field. This would be a really great case for you. On the back, the typical flap that is used for one of the stand options, camera hole in the back here. Really nice and big, so it's not hindering any viewing. So that's the case. It's really skinny, very light. It's a very nice light case. I like it a lot. So one of the features that drew me to this case was this flap here. Not very many cases have this. If they do have a flap or security feature here, it's normally that elastic strap that has to come all the way over and you get left with this big band. Where this instead is just like a buckle. It's magnetic, very easy to use. So we'll open that up, open up the case. Inside, you'll see that instead of having clasps along the sides, that you actually have clasps only in the corners. And I really like this. I was hesitant at first about it, but I feel that it protects my phone more than just having the really shallow edges, because if I was to drop this, I know that the corners would be protected really well. It is a firm rubber, kind of more like a plastic than a rubber, but it's not hard plastic where it would crack. So this is going to absorb a lot of shock if you were to accidentally drop the iPad, heaven forbid. Again, really nice smooth back. Okay, soft felt suede sort of feel. And so let's go ahead and put the iPad in. So I'm going to go ahead and slide the iPad into the corners and then pop these two corners over. So that's the iPad in the case. I think this is really sleek looking. It overlaps the iPad just a smidge, just enough to provide that protection that you need. But it's not gaudy to where you feel like you're losing that slimness of the iPad itself. So I really like this case for that feature as well. So, stand options. Let's go ahead and fold it into the back for the first feature. Oh, and this flap actually attaches on the back, so they do have a magnet on the back, which is really great. So let's put that there. So that's the first stand. Very ergonomically sound. It's very nice. And what I like about this is that it provides something for you to hold on to. So when you're talking, you have something to grab onto so you're not touching your phone. So if anyone is someone who doesn't like fingerprints all over your iPad, this is a really great feature. And then what we can do is take that out and prop this up like this. And what I like about this versus other cases is some cases have just those two deep grooves that you have to put your phone in, that one or that one. And I find that it not only adds bulk to the case, but it doesn't give you very many options, where this case gives you straight up and down if you want to FaceTime or Skype someone, or even as low as a little bit higher than the other form by flipping it back. So this is really great. I don't have any problems with it popping out of its place because this is it's ribbed. So it wants to grab wherever you put it. Let's do it again. See, so it wants to grab. And I think this is really functional to have it whatever option you'd like. Now, if you're someone who happens to have one of these lying around, I got this from a friend, and I like to use it with my iPad, but not very many cases allow this to be used with it in the case, so I have to take it out. But with this case, because it's flat, I'm able to lay this keyboard on the case front and just rest my iPad in the case, or in the tray. So because this is so sleek, I can then use this keyboard and not have to take my iPad out of the case, and I really like that. So that provides a lot more options on the go. Last but not least, that sleep magnet issue that a lot of people were having. Let me put on an app so you can see the brightness. Okay, so you can see this is on, shut it, turn on, shut, turn on, shut. Okay, so that works really well. Some people were complaining that if they shove, like if I put a lot of pressure on here, because the bind or the spine right here is really soft, that if you shift the case hard enough, the screen comes on. And yes, is that a nuisance, you know, an issue that could happen? Sure, but that can happen with any case, I feel. A lot of the cases that had that smart cover, that is an issue with all of them. Just because if you think about it, in order to get that back bend with the setup like this, you have to have that flexibility. So you're going to get that, you know, that possible pop. But I'm having to apply a lot of pressure to get this thing to turn on. But if it's in my purse like it's been, and I'm just relaxing it, and it, something applies a little bit of pressure, it's not turning on. Okay, and I'm actually putting my hand up here, so if something was to rest on top of the case. Okay? I'm just checking here to see if it's popping. It's not. Okay, so you can see that it's not turning on. Okay, and I'm actually pushing this over to touch the iPad. So that's where it would bottom out, and I'm not getting anything. But if I shove it and I'm like really arching this, then it's gonna pop on. So if you're someone who's a little worried about that, just try on the cases in the store. I got this at Best Buy, but it does sell online at Amazon and on Belkin's website. But just try on a few cases and test it out. I mean, if it's something that turns on, just try a different one, because I have had no problems with this case. And last, if you're someone who has a stylus, a lot of cases will either provide a little sleeve here or none at all. But because this has this magnetic flap, I'm able to store my stylus on this flap here, so I can have it when I need it. So it's just resting on that flap. So hopefully that helps. Again, this is the Belkin Cinema Folio with stand option, okay, for the 3rd generation iPad. And I love this case. I think it's great. So hopefully this review helped to see what is entailed with this case, and hopefully it works out for you too. All right, thanks for watching.